Hey guys, I'm Zirindar and welcome to my video. Today we will be doing a horse tier list, so let's get started. First up we have Neural, and Neural, oh sorry, my mouse is dying. Neural is, last I checked, a beautiful horse. She has blonde horse ears and she drops out of the sky like a horse multiple times throughout the story, so she's definitely a horse. Uh, Neural Alter is even more of a horse than Neural is, so she also goes in horse tier. Now, Maria. Last I checked, horses don't really do engineering. I don't think they're that smart, unfortunately. But, I mean, maybe she is like an evolved horse, so I'll put her in horse tier just to be sure. Now, Zofia. Um, I kind of have my doubts about this one because I've never seen a horse use a whip. It would be kind of scary if they did, but let's just to be sure, let's put her in horse tier. Now, Mlinar. Um, he is tall, and horses are really big. Yeah, he's a horse for sure, for sure. Now, Meteor. She does not know how phones work, and horses don't have fingers. So, horses wouldn't know how phones work, so she's definitely a horse. Yeah, checks out. Now, Platinum. Ooh. Well, here's the issue, right? I've never seen a horse who uses a bow. That's my issue. But at the same time, they could totally evolve to use bows, like they could use their mouth to pull back the string. Yeah, I think she's just an advanced horse for sure. Now, Heavy Rain. Uh, hmm. I mean, she does have heavy in her name, and horses are heavy, and also heavy and horse both start with the letter H. Yeah, she's a horse for sure. Shit, there we go. Now, Grani. Um, see, here's my issue with Grani, right? I think she is a horse. I'm inclined to believe she is a horse. But she is British, which might mean she's not a horse. Because horses are cool, right? But British people aren't. Uh, you know, we'll see how that goes. Oh, Arletta. I love Arletta. She is definitely a horse, like, no doubt. I know in my heart she's a horse. By looking at her, I know she's a horse. This is definitely a horse, 100%. Now, Fang. Fang actually has a really funny, like, introduction text bit in game uh, that says she runs really fast, and that's all there is to it. And I think that's really cute. But also, horses run really fast, so she's definitely a horse. Now, Fang Alter. You are definitely a horse, I think. Yeah, probably. Now, Proviso. You see, the issue is, I don't see horses taking people to court and suing them. However, maybe a really angry horse would do that. So, like, I can kind of see it. So she's a horse. Oh, Narantuya, my beloved. See, I've never seen a horse steal things. I've never seen a horse steal anything. But, like, maybe they just do steal things nowadays. I've never seen one. Have you ever seen a horse steal anything? Maybe they're just that sneaky. Maybe they're just, like, sneaky horses who steal things. I just never notice. Wild Mane. She has mane in her name, and she is wild, so I think she is a horse. Now, next up we have NPCs, and I do think Great Mouth Mob is a horse based on how he talks. Definitely a horse. Titus. He is, I think, a horse? He might be a kitchen chair, but I think he's a horse. Now, we do have my beloved Tola. Uh, mm, Here's the issue. Have you ever seen a horse wear a mask before? But I guess they could, right? I guess they could if they tried really hard. Yeah, Tolla's a horse, for sure. Oh, Mr. Plastic. Uh, well, I guess he's a horse. Not really sure about that one, though. Roy. Roy is a horse. Have you never seen a blue horse? I have plenty of times. Uh, this is a horse for sure. You are probably a horse. Fogo White's a horse. You are kind of a horse. You look like a horse, so you're probably a horse. Oh, a Johnny or a Jazzy. I probably got one of those wrong because I don't know who is who. Um, but I love them in Pepe's event. They're both really funny, and this is definitely a horse for sure. You're a horse. Clovesia is also a horse for sure. You're a horse. You're a horse, I think. Yeah, for sure. You look like a horse. McKee smells like a horse, so I think he is a horse. He doesn't shower. Uh, you're not in D tier because you're a horse. And you are also a horse. Now, we've gone from the easy things to rate as horses to the hard ones, so this might take a while. Please bear with me. We have Bubble. Now, I do think Bubble has potential to be a horse. She does have the same ears that a horse has. But I don't think horses have horns. Like, unicorns are not horses. That's just it, period. Unicorns are not horses. So I think she's not a horse. Well, she tries to be a horse. I'll put her in a horse tier. Now, Harmony. She is very smug. And horses can be very smug. We've seen that with Narantuya. I think Harmony is probably a horse. She might be a horse, we don't know yet. Plotophones is incredibly racist. And we all know horses get racist sometimes, to fight for their territory. So I think she might be a horse. Lumen is definitely not a horse. Period. Have you ever seen a horse, like, heal people? No, horses don't heal people. Just how it is. Horns is... He might be a horse. He doesn't have horse ears, actually. Yeah, he's not a horse, for sure. Now, Pepe. She kind of smacks people really hard with her hammer, and horses buck people when they get angry and stuff, so, like, I think she could be a horse, honestly. Elysium, we know, isn't a horse. She's just two Durins in a tall stack with a long coat. Silence is... She could be a really smart horse. But have you ever seen a horse wear glasses? They literally don't wear glasses. Maybe horse tier. Now, Mudrock. Mudrock does have horns, which some horses do have. So, I think she has a good chance of being a horse. Now, Archetto. I think Archetto could be a horse. Because she has pointy ears. She has homophobia. Yeah, she's definitely a horse. Now, Fartooth. I mean, horses do have teeth. But they don't fart all the time. She's probably a horse. Probably, and I'm not sure. We'll have to come back to that one and think about it. Pinecone is almost certainly not a horse because have you ever seen a horse work in construction before? I haven't. Now, Spectre, you are not a horse because all horses are sane and they're not mentally deranged and belong in an asylum. Ray could be a horse. The ears make me think she's a horse. Yeah, she's definitely a horse for sure. Like almost a horse for sure. Shu is not a horse because we know she's actually a lion. So she goes in F tier because she's not a horse. She's a lion. We all know that. Pudding is probably a horse. I mean, she does work in engineering, and horses are really smart, so they can do engineering when they want to, they just choose not to. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Saga. Saga loves to eat, and horses also love to eat, so she's most likely a horse. Civilite Eterna. Now, I do remember when we got Babel in Global. There's a small scene with Frieza, right? And I had to edit this out of the game really fast, where she suddenly takes out an apple and makes horse noises and eats it in front of Amia. So she's most certainly a horse. Ak could be a horse because sometimes horses get a bit crazy with medicine, so I think he's probably a horse, but I'm not too sure about that. Lee. Lee is too carefree to be a horse, I think. Horses have responsibilities. Dagenbrescher. You are... You are... I think you're a horse because you run really fast. So you go on a horse tier. The Witch King. I think he is really old and like doesn't shower, so he's probably not a horse. Surtur is most likely not a horse, purely based off the fact that she has cat eyes, so I don't think she's a horse. She might be a tiger, but that's just my opinion. Gladia. You see, Gladia's unamused face is too smug for a horse, because horses have this right amount of smug sometimes, but it's just the right amount, and I think Gladia is too smug in terms of that face she's giving me right now. So, I think she's not a horse. Now, Lapland. Lapland is almost certainly a horse. I'm confident. Now, La Pluma. I do not think La Pluma is a horse, because she can make some really cool drinks, and we all know horses don't have fingers to make drinks with. Tamimi. Tamimi does have a really fat tail, and like, you can use it as a pogo stick, and like, pogo sticks move up and down, like horses do when they're trotting. They like hop up and down. They wobble, so she could be a horse, I think. She could definitely be a horse. Whole Hack just isn't a horse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, controversial opinion, I know. But have you ever seen a horse make people levitate? She's just not a horse. I'm sorry, just how it is. Now, Chen. Chen has a pair of large brown horse ears. She's almost certainly a horse. Stainless. You see, Stainless has the same issue as Grani, where he could be a horse, but he's British, so automatically F tier. I'm sorry, controversial opinion, I know, I'm sorry, not my fault. Broca. Broca is really buff, and we know horses have muscles. He's probably a horse. Chave. Well, you see, Broca is probably a horse, so Chave and Aosta are probably both horses too. I'm sure. They wouldn't lie to me. Now, Kristen. You have Kristen right. She might be a horse cause she's cute and like nerdy, so I think she's a horse. El Banana. El Banana is very much batshit insane, and we all know horses get a bit crazy sometimes. I think she might be a horse. Now, Red Blade. There are some good arguments on why he could be a horse, because horses are really good at cutting things, and he hurts really bad. So he's probably a horse. The Masti Cluster. Definitely not a horse. Have you ever seen a horse be able to, like, clone themselves? They just don't do that. I'm sorry, they just don't do that. Now, Cliff. Probably not a horse. He could be hiding horse ears under his hat, but I mean, I've never seen a horse use a gun before, so probably not a horse. Emperor's Blade could totally be a horse under the armor. We just don't know. Patriot is also a horse for sure. Like, look at his face. It's got like a horse snout. It's definitely a horse. He's definitely a horse. I'm sorry. The Rat King is probably a horse. I would wager him being a horse. Oh, Zaro's a horse for sure. Horses have 4 legs, and wolves have 4 legs, so he's definitely a horse. Creselysian, the ascendant of the Cosmoi, or whatever his name is, he is definitely a horse, for sure. I mean, horses have long, beautiful manes, and so does he. You can see these hair locks here. Very beautiful. Now, the thing Dorothy made, um, well, horses can be very abstract sometimes, so I think you're definitely a horse, for sure. Now, Big Ugly. Well, my problem with Big Ugly is that it's called Big Ugly, but horses are all beautiful, so it's probably a horse. Probably a horse. Now, Pompey, you are definitely a horse. You are definitely a horse. Like, I can see the ears here. This is the tail. This is the eyes. Yeah, that's definitely a horse. Um, you are a horse. The materialist antagonizer. You are definitely a horse. Because have you ever seen a horse not fly? They're always flying. So it's most likely a horse. We have the essence of evolution. Um, well, it does have an eye, and horses do have eyes. But, um, I think it's a horse, to be honest. Let's play it safe and call it a horse. Lastly, we have the bishop from Salviento. You are... You might be a horse, but you also might not be a horse, so it's 50-50. And that concludes my tier list. I am Zerindar, this is my horse tier list, and thank you for joining me on rating all of these beautiful horses and non-horses. That'll be it for me, and leave a like and subscribe. Peace out.